and which I don't want to, not have that this month. I do want to have our gratitude, that's for sure. So we're going to have that as our subliminal message all the way through this month. But I did want to focus on Louise Hayes' work this month because I've just recently recognized that I've never even focused on it before with you guys. The book that she wrote initially was You Can Heal Your Life. And this one, by the way, is the one that we had in the lending library because I couldn't find my copy. I know I had one at one point, but you know how that is. Books come and go. So, but I believe we have some new ones for sale in the gift shop today. So I'll probably have to buy one, but maybe somebody else needs one too. So that's what we're focusing on this month. And the reason I kind of thought about her again was, remember last month I was attending her birthday party, her 90th, with 2,000 other people. And just remembering how much of a power and how much of a presence and how much a gift she has given to this world in her work and just by being herself, by sharing herself. And just to give you a little bit of a review in case you're not real familiar with her work, she wrote that book that I just showed you initially. That was her first book she had written. But since then, she has established Hay House. It's a publishing company, which also has established a radio channel and has created a lot of videos for people. And so she started all of that after the age of 60. Her life experiences from childhood were challenging. She grew up in an abusive household. She was raped at 16, gave up a child for an adoption. She married her love of her life, and after 14 years was devastated when he left her for another woman. And she had cervical cancer. She was able to meet and all these challenges and go through them. And one of the reasons she says she was able to do it was she found the Religious Science Church in New York, where she was living at the time. And she read Florence Scovel Shinn, which we had gone over her information a few months ago, right? And Ernest Holmes. And so she really became entrenched in our teachings and became a practitioner of religious science. And she started seeing clients and she started helping people. And so she really attributes this change in her life to what we all have been talking about year after year here. And one of the things that I thought I would do this morning is I've got a sheet of paper here that as you start reading her book, I just picked out 10 of her main points that she gives you in that first chapter. And I actually, they typed up pretty nicely. They typed up on one sheet of paper, and I made a few extra copies of it. So if you guys want to take one home, you can do that. So you can study it a little bit more. And if you need more copies, let me know. So I'm going to just review them, just go down the list at this moment, and then I'm going to come back to some of them, and we'll develop some of them more in more depth. But the first one is that we each are 100% responsible for our lives. Our lives, the people and events in them, are a reflection and a mirror of what we hold inside ourselves. Number 2, our thoughts generate our feelings, words, and actions, and they can be changed. Number 3, our subconscious mind accepts whatever we choose to believe and goes about to produce our experiences based on those beliefs. Number 4, the universal power, God, however you want to call it, never judges or criticizes us. It only accepts us at our own value. Number 5, the point of power is always in the present moment. The past is over. We can choose to let it go or keep on reliving it. Number 6, to release the past, we must be willing to forgive. Number 7, sustaining thoughts of unforgiveness create all disease. Pretty powerful one. These are all Louise Hay's, by the way. What she's telling you in the first chapter, guys. Number 8, the innermost belief for everyone I have worked with, and this is as her practitioner hat that she wears, is always, I'm not good enough. Number 9, resentment, criticism, guilt, and fear cause more problems than anything else. And number 10, when we approve of ourselves exactly as we are, then everything else in life works. Now, I think I saw a few heads nodding. after each one of those, they all kind of seem to resonate, don't they? To go back to the very first one, we are all 100% responsible for our lives, just as they are. Do we believe that? We agree with that? Really? No, nobody wants to say it's because of somebody out there. It's their fault. We don't want to do that. We know when we point what we do. It's coming back to us, right? We know in our teaching that there is this power, this energy that creates everything, and it is in the unseen realm. And so it generates, it spawns, it produces everything that we see in the physical. This is what we preach time and time again, that as within, so without. When thoughts become things, choose good ones. Who said that? Mike Dooley, or the universe, or TUT, or whatever you want to call himself. Thoughts become things, choose good ones. We have the authority. We have the ability to choose our thoughts. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As you sow, so shall you reap. Where'd those come from? The Bible. Thank you. Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. Anybody want to guess on that one? Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. Ernest Holmes. Who said that? Woohoo! Good job. I see some students here. So when we recognize that life comes from within us and it comes out, what our experiences are come through us, out from us, there is no more victim mentality. There's no more, they did it to me. There's a standing up and ownership of 100%, I am responsible. I don't know if it's in the Course in Miracles verbatim this way, but the essence of it is, look what I created. That's another way to say it, a little bit lighter, isn't it? You know, you can say, look what I created. I can take full course for it, a full responsibility for it. I recently opened up and started reading my book that I purchased here a few months ago now on the Course of Love. And I've been told that it is wonderful, and you need to open it, Reverend Gay, and you need to read it, and you need to read it. And it is very meaty. I'm still in the preface. And I have my pencil out, and I've underlined, and I've blocked everything, you know, all these things. So I would highly recommend that if you don't have that one too. It's a good hand in glove with Louise's work, I found. So in Louise's second point, she says, our thoughts generate our feelings, words, and actions, and they can be changed. So if we are looking at our lives and something is happening that we say, really, I created this? It might be something that we're not all that happy with, that we wouldn't have a preference to have in our lives. We can change it by our thinking. And the way we change it is to go back literally to the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is that we, each and every one of us, just as we are, have come into this life in a full, nothing held back at all. We are God in expression. And that is not blasphemy. It is the truth that I am God in expression. And how is God going to show up through me this day? You know, one of the words that I chose when, at the beginning of the year, it's almost the beginning of the year again, was gift. When we put it on our white stones. I've always thought of myself as a gift. And what can I give to the world? You know, how am I giving my gifts? And that's really, I believe, what we're here for. You know, humanity is the dispenser of divine gifts. That's why we're here. And so we're here to know that I am that. And it's not blasphemy. It's living up to who you are. The Course of Love said, the truth unites. It does not divide. The truth invites peace, not conflict. That's the truth of who we are. How many of us were in our meditation this morning and heard Deepak's meditation? It was great. It was perfect. I loved it. What he's saying and what the Course in Love is saying is the fact that when we listen to that ego voice, which divides and separates and tells us that we are judgmental. And Wayne Dyer is one of those great teachers that we had. But that's the ego talking to us. And we all have to just recognize when the ego speaks, we can just know that there is a greater truth. There is a greater reality to us, that we are truly whole and at peace. And we don't have to listen to that ego voice that talks about criticism. Oh, speaking of criticism, how many 21 dayers do I have? How many day numbers are you on? What day number are you on? Do you know? You haven't had to start over. Well, I was on the freeway yesterday. Said right out loud, just right out loud, I said, jerk. I'm starting over. Darn it. So that criticism needs to say, thank you very much for sharing. I don't need to go there. Because love, the song that we heard this morning, right? What would love do? Love would not criticize. Love doesn't judge us that way. When I'm listening to the 21 days of the Deepak's meditations, and I really, again, tell you would behoove yourself to tune into it. It's free. It's on the internet. And the whole thing this time on this 21 days is on relationships. And how that all of our relationships generate and are produced by the relationship that we have with ourselves. How we relate to ourselves is going to be reflected in all of our relationships that come to us. So, going back to Louise's work, what does Louise say? We need to love ourselves. We need to love who and what we are. If we are God in expression, and God is only love, that's what we are. To love ourselves. Be happy with yourself. Say, yeah, good job. Yeah, well, good. It's all one. We're one mind, huh? I am God in expression, and I am happy about that. We can allow ourselves to be happy. I don't think that's a surprise to most of you who come to listen to me most of the time, is it? No, I tell you, Edwin said the Earth is a party planet, so we're here to have fun. So Louise's work says, loving the self begins with never, ever criticizing ourselves for anything. Breathe. Breathe. Self-approval and self-acceptance in the now are the main keys to positive changes in every area of our lives. In the now. That was one of the other points she put. The point of power is always in the present moment. Now, now, now. When we bring ourselves to the past, when we think about what I should have done, when we evaluate and criticize and say it should have been done differently, whatever, we're living in the past and we're being remorseful. We can't change it anyway. Let it go. Let the past go. The only thing that is right here and right now. And so the other thing that she tells us to do is that we just need to forgive. We need to forgive. Her definition of forgive is to give up, to let go. When we forgive, we let go. And it's so much freeing, isn't it? It's lighter. You know, we're not weighted down by all those chains of I did it wrong, they did it wrong. It's done. Let it be. Let it lie. One of the points that she said, number 4, was the universal power, God, never judges or criticizes us. It only accepts us at our own value. And I want you to think about that. It, the God, universal power, only accepts us at our own value. What is God's value of us? Do you know what God thinks about us? Do you know how God feels about us? I would think God loves. Because we are itself. God is universal, and it can't go against itself. It is whole. It cannot not help but love all of its creation, which we are. So we need to accept that. We need to know that, and we need to step up to knowing that I am made in the image of likeness of God, and yay, what is God going to do through me this day? It's going to be something new. It's going to be something different. God makes everything new. Nothing change. Nothing stays the same. It's always growing, always evolving. Deepak talked about our true self in meditation. When we go into meditation, that's how we can get to know what our true self is, our God self. By letting go of the monkey mind, the ego talk that creeps in, and going into that meditation, into that time of quiet, into that time of stillness, and listening to that still small voice. We talk all the time about how to meditate. It's you know, because, I just can't do it. I can't focus. You know, people say that, right? It's hard for me to do it. Nah, 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 nah. But I love what Michael Beckwith tells us is that before you can determine how to meditate, you've got to know what it is. So what is meditation? Undistracted attention to reality. With R. Undistracted attention to reality. Can you meditate by looking at a tree and seeing the wind blow through it? Can you meditate by listening to a child laugh? Absolutely. All of us have different focuses. You can meditate looking at the stars. Undistracted attention to reality. And yes, you can do that with your eyes closed and opening yourself up to what is reality. What is this infinite power all about that is within me, that I am in and of? Woo! So we want to let go of that small self, of that ego self, more and more and more. I have like a little clue. I have a little trick. I have a suggestion. I don't know what you're going to call it. But when I find myself getting distracted, I like to sing. So I use my centering thought and I put it to music. And I can do that at any time during the day. And I'm going to teach this to you. You'll know it, and you can do it. Actually, I think I've sung it probably for you before. It's very simple. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know I am God. Easy peasy. That's all you got to do. And know the truth. I am God. I am. Accept it. Be still and know that I am God. I am God. I am love. Pure love. No criticism. No judgment. Thich Nhat Hanh has a quote that I wanted to share with you. He said, "There are many ways to calm a negative energy without suppressing or fighting it." Because they do come up. We know this, that ego is strong. It wants to judge. It wants to criticize. So he says there are many ways to calm a negative energy without suppressing or fighting it. You recognize it. Hello. You recognize it. And you invite something nicer to come up and replace it. You read some inspiring words. You listen to a piece of beautiful music. You go somewhere in nature, or you do some walking meditation. Or you sing. Be still and know that I am God. Just whatever anchor that you can use it. Point number 10 that Louise made was, when we approve of ourselves exactly as we are, then everything else falls into place. Everything else falls into place because we are judging with right judgment. Socrates said, "The secret to change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new." Letting go of the past, forgiving it, letting it go, and building. God is always evolving, always doing something new. What is new for me in my life? Where am I to go? How am I to develop the gifts that I have? How am I to learn more gifts that I can give? That's what this life is about. I was talking to an 80-some-year-old woman the other day, and she goes, "I'm always ready to learn. I'm always ready to learn." And she's coming back into Science Mind class once again. And that's the way that we truly keep ourselves alive through this life. We don't fight the old. Deepak, I want to share with you what one of his quotes. "You must learn to get in touch with the innermost essence of your being. This true essence is beyond the ego. It is fearless." Are you fearless? "It is free. It is immune to criticism." Doesn't even go there. "It does not fear any challenge. It is beneath no one, superior to no one, and full of magic, mystery, and enchantment. Do you like that life? Well, that is the life that we are to live. We are to go out and be this person, this individual entity that's absolutely loving, 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 accepting, 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 being, 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 all that we are. I'm going to send you home with a mantra. It's going to be very easy. It's one of Louise's. It says, love is everywhere, and I am loving and lovable. Love is everywhere, and I am loving and lovable. One more time. Love is everywhere, and I am loving and lovable. So there. So there. Put a seal on it. And so it is. Namaste.